So guys, this is either a very stupid idea or a very brilliant idea. So I've dropped the rear axle, taken the bolt out that side, but we've dropped it off of this one to try and give us as much room here to get our new filler neck through. So I'm going to struggle with that for a bit. This is what it feels after a lot of messing about. We have our evac canister just dangling here. Fuel tank is in, straps are on, it's all nice and tight. Last final bit we can do is drop the old jack there. There we go. So we now have a completely freestanding fuel tank. See, it's got the strap around it, it's got its bolts in. It'll pre-come out a little bit for now, but coming up we've got petrol filler, so we can put petrol in it. Obviously that's all ran. Do need to run our fuel lines to the front. As you can see, we've got all blue now this side, which is quite nice. Pick this bit up on the breaker. That looks the same colour, but no, it's not. It's the pastel blue. Not much has really changed here. So we've got the brass fittings, just need more hose clamps. Good about that. We used brass fitting there. We used a brass fitting down the other end of the turbo inlet. So that's all plumbed up now. So you look up on that. The PCV, our catch cans ran down here now, so that'll be fine there. Let's say just need to put some more pumps for that. That'll hold that nice and tight. The 90 piece there coming off the PCV. This wing still grey. This wing will be taken home covering foam, and if you've been paying attention, you'll know why that is. See if it'll turn. And then surprise, surprise, black wing mirror, but 2 blue doors. So we've got a blue hatch, blue doors. So all the doors are blue. It's got a rear bumper, which we're going to try and paint that one because we'll be foaming it. We're going to try and paint this one, but obviously going to try and paint the bonnet. So this is horrendous. That wing, I'm not going to paint that one, just going to use foam on that, see if we can mock something up. So we've got blue this side, so I've whacked it back with an orbital sander. I've got some hammerite rust on there. As you see, it ate right through, and it's still not going to be perfect, but we're going to work with it because the rest of the door's blue. Again, not ideal, but it's what it is. But yeah, so all I need to do now is hurry up and get this rear beam back on. Don't look at swapping the discs and getting the other new caliper on, and then bleeding the brakes up. So guys, before the light fades, we have, in this episode, we've got the fuel tank in. That's all good, you can see that there. So we now have a petrol tank in the Fabia. We are going to have to cable tie this out the way for now, but as you can see there is a bracket there for it. So we're chuffed with that. I might have to take some of the underliner off of that to get that bracket on. We've got new shockers in. These are undeniably crap. Not really got any push back on them at all when you compress them. I've done the whole, you compress it a few times, make sure all the stuff is where it needs to be in the shock, just like I've done with any other shock, just like I do with the shocks on that one. Proper Sachs shocks. The other ones are mint, these ones are just mush, but they're new and they look good on an MOT, don't they? So I'm not going to mess about with the discs today, simply because we are going to be having to bleed the brakes. So when we come to that, which will be next time, I'm going to put the other caliper on that I've got, which should be knocking about somewhere. There. So that looks pretty nice for a used caliper. Probably went on a Fabia long before it got broken. So that's the other side, and we've got new discs. So we've got new pads, we've got discs here, but what we really want to be doing is getting this, again, the gearbox adjusted for the gear cables up front. Again, the fuel lines ran, because that's the thing we can do now. and getting some more of the interior buttoned up and the exhaust. As soon as we get that done and we know we can fire the car and it'll run, then we can look at bleeding the brakes up, because I don't want to bleed these up, these be seized on, and then not be able to move it in and out, because that'd be a bit of a pain. So once we can fire it up, we'll that's probably the last thing, because each wheel's going to have to come off anyway to do each bleed, so we might as well swap these at that same time. But yeah, so let's put the car on jack stands on the sills. Probably one of the better places to put it. I'm not too sure about the structural integrity of the raised chassis rail. Not supposed to jack up, whereas as far as I'm aware, but the sill perfectly fine. Follow around for a silver bumper. So this is our problem caliper right here. The thread's just mangled in that. Put that in there to stop crap going in, because we'll be sending that back hopefully for an exchange. But in the meantime, we have that other caliper. Obviously at that time we can start to run things like handbrake cable. But yeah, as far as this is, it still moves. We've got our other shock in. Yeah, top mounts are in, they're all bolted in, and again did it up on that. So yeah, we can throw some wheels on, get this lowered down, and yeah, might throw some exhaust on first. So sorry about the view, but you've got about the same view as I have. So we've got this mount back in. You have to take this mount off because the heat shield that goes right next to the fuel tank to protect the fuel tank, that comes out. Drop the fuel tank, starlet washer there, starlet washer back on there, and this one sits under this one. Obviously you can see kind of what I see is this one up here, there's one further back, there's one there. So yeah, we're going to start looking at getting that where it should be. So guys, you can probably see that because I haven't thrown the joiner in yet. Just 2 cable ties and one going through the middle, just to hold that up so I can now push the car back into the garage and not have the exhaust scraping on the ground.